Holy and merciful God, blessed Father, please in Jesus' name forgive me and bless me in this time of study and the listeners. In Jesus' name, amen. Hi everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and you reach IM Ministries. IM Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. Okay, the Bible. Habiblas, by the way. Pospai, me along with Manishma are greetings in Greek and Hebrew. Okay, so Pospai means how's it going in Greek, and Manishma basically means the same thing in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, by the way. Now, since we're talking about Hebrew, there's Hebrew here that we should look at behind the scenes, but let's look at the English first. Now, the title of this message is actually, I was going to say it's entitled, but it's the same thing. The title of this message is the Trinity in Genesis. The Trinity in Genesis. Okay, you understand what I mean? So let's read a little bit of chapter 18, and let's see for the first time that when the Bible mentions three and gives the example of the Trinity, or okay, this was actually the Trinity in incarnate form visiting Abraham. Continuous bodies, but nevertheless a theophany, Christophany, and pneumatophany. I like to call it pneumatophany. Let's check it out. Now, it's recorded here in Genesis chapter 18, verse 1. Now, the Lord, okay, we're going to look at the Hebrew. Now, the Lord appeared to him, meaning to Abraham, by the oaks of Mamre, while he was sitting at the tent door in the heat of the day. Okay, so we have here the Lord appearing to him, meaning to Abraham, verse 2. When he, okay, meaning Abraham, when he lifted up his eyes and looked, behold, three. Okay, did you get that? Did you get that, please? Three men were standing, okay, opposite him, meaning opposite Abraham. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them and bowed himself to the earth. Okay? Bowed himself to the earth. Now, verse 3. Let's check this out. It says over here, and said, my Lord. I mean, this is stark. And said, my Lord, if your let me see, if you, what is this? Sight? If your sight, okay, please to, what is this? And said, my Lord, if now I have found favor, okay, in your sight, please do not pass, okay, your servant by. Okay, so basically that's it for our study plus this verse right here. Okay, now let's go to verse 13. Okay, verse 13 goes something like this. And the Lord said to Abraham, okay, and the Lord said it to Abraham over here, why did Sarah, okay, laugh? Okay, saying, shall I indeed bear a child? Okay, when I am so, okay, so the Lord is speaking to Abraham. Now remember, okay, in verse 1, 2, and 3, we have this again. Now the Lord appeared to him. Doesn't say three angels. Okay, so the Lord appeared to him. You know what I'm saying? It said the Lord. It doesn't say, merely men. Three men appeared to him. I mean, just men. Okay, and that's it. The Lord. I said the Lord spoke. It says over here the Lord spoke to him in verse 13. The Lord appeared to him in verse 1. Well, let's continue to read again. It says over here, and the Lord appeared to him by the oaks of Mamre, while he was sitting at the tent door in the heat of the day. Now, verse 2, when he lifted up his eyes, meaning Abraham, when he lifted up his eyes and looked, behold, three men, were standing opposite him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them and bowed himself to the earth. Okay? And verse 3 says something like this, and said, my Lord, it says over here, okay, my Lord, if now I have found a favor in your sight, please do not pass your servant by. Now, this is very important. We have to say what this is not saying. Okay, it is not saying there's no such thing as a Trinity. Okay, that's obvious. Okay, now this can be an example of the Trinity, a sort of allegory. Okay, of the Trinity. It could be that, an allegory, but it could be the actual Trinity of visiting Abraham. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Okay, Abraham. Okay. All right. So it can be a visitation of the Trinity, visiting Abraham in the heat of the day. But then, and it's kind of strange. It says the heat of the day will be here, and the cool of the day in Genesis chapter 3. So it's kind of ironic that it says like the opposite sort of temperatures. Okay, probably the temperature in that Genesis account in chapter 3 was affected by the Son of Man. So it did maybe something to the actual temperature, okay, of the earth, or who knows. But so the Trinity could have visited completely, absolutely, totally. All the three members of the Trinity could have visited Abraham. That is quite possible. That's quite possible. And we already know that the Holy Spirit appeared like a dove. Okay, Jerome, bye. And that's my step nephew, you know. And so that's the nephew of my wife, Riza. And so the thing is that, we know that, first of all, let's start off with this. We know that Christ appeared in the body. It was his continuous body. It wasn't a temporal body. Like, well, if he appeared as one of the men here in the story, well, that's just a continuous body. Okay, that's not an ongoing body. That's not the body that he took, to the cross. You know what I mean? That's not the body that he was born with in Bethlehem. That was just a body, a temporal body, and that's just a deal. That's called a Christophany, if that was him. You see? So this could be an example of the Trinity, okay? You understand? An example of the first time that that God that the Bible teaches that God is three persons. Okay? I mean, it's a perfect account, a perfect story. Okay? That's just the deal. I will visit you the same time next year. Okay? That's what it says. It doesn't say that God will visit you. I will visit you. Angels never spoke like that. Okay? The angel Gabriel didn't say, oh, well, I'm the Lord. No, he said, I am Gabriel, who stands in the presence of God. Okay? He didn't say, I'm the Lord. Okay? You understand what I mean? That's just it. He even, listen, it was even said to be Gabriel, okay, found and recorded in Daniel chapter 9. You understand what I mean? So that's just it. So this could be, and like I said, this could be the first example of God being three persons in the Bible. Now, I already said, okay, it already has several Hebrew words actually proving the point that God is at least, okay, two persons. At least two persons. He's Ma, but he's at least two persons in when he says, when actually, when he wrote, when he led Moses to write, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created so and so and so and so and so. You understand what I mean? Elohim, that's in the plural. That's obvious. Okay? It's not Bereshit bara El. It doesn't say that. In the beginning, God created, and God in that scenario is El in the singular, like Psalm 102, okay, where El appears once in the text there, and actually the Tetragrammaton appears 9 times in that text in Psalm 102, proving, incidentally, that the Father called Jesus his own son Yahweh, okay, but you, Lord, and actually in the Jehovah's Witness Bible, you, O Lord, this was special definiteness, actually, in their Bible. Now, but listen, this is the first time that, and those words that we saw in our earlier studies of the Trinity in Genesis, actually said much more than just Elohim in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. But we saw in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, okay, that it says, Na'aseh Adam, let us make man. Okay, Adam, of course, is man, one of the words for man in Hebrew. The other one is Ish. And Na'aseh means let us make, from the Hebrew verb asa, which means to make. Na'aseh is the construction there in the text of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 that says, let us make. Okay, actually, poiesomen, that's subjunctive in the aorist, that's an aorist or subjunctive. Poiesomen, the sigma is pointing out the aorist, the omega is pointing out the subjunctive construction, and then the men is men or mu epsilon nu is pointing out the plurality of it all. The personal ending is plural, first person plural ending men. You understand what I mean? Now, so we saw that, and then we saw the third one, if you will. Okay. Mi menu. Okay, remember, nu means us in Hebrew. Man has become like one, quote, of us. Of us is mi menu in the Hebrew scriptures. Okay, verse 22 of chapter 3 of Genesis. Now, in some Greek Septuagints, I think at least the Sir Lancelot Brenton, a copy of the Greek Septuagint of 1851, circa, 1851, whatever the case may be. That, and you can get it on Amazon.com. That, I think it says it in verse 23 there, okay, of chapter 3. Now, but we already saw that it's not the only times that that God says us for himself. I mean, there's one found and recorded in Genesis chapter 11, verse 7. Where it says in Hebrew, okay, nereda, okay, from yarad, which means to descend, which means to go down. You understand what I mean? Okay, nereda, okay, means let us go. Okay, let us go down. You understand what I'm saying? Let us go down. That's what it means. And so that's just it. And then Lanu caps it off in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8, who will go, quote, for us, end quote. So you have all this proof, but still, it didn't say that you could come out of that by saying that there's at least two persons of God. Okay, two. We don't know exactly how many, but we can say at least there's two. Now, before Jehovah's Witness say to me, well, the word Trinity is not found in the Bible. Yeah, trimester is not found in the Bible either. My wife is pregnant, and she's due any day now. It could happen tonight, you know. And you know, we us people who no pun intended, us, us people who are expecting their wife to give birth. I mean, we do all we can to get educated. And I was checking out some YouTube videos on trimesters. Wait a minute. What do you mean trimesters? It's not in the Bible. Yeah, but pregnancy is. Okay. So just because Trinity is not in the Bible doesn't mean it's not. The concept of Trinity is not in the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? So a trimester is not in the Bible, but people getting pregnant. People got pregnant left and right over here in the Bible. Trimester. Okay, so the first. Okay, the first part of the pregnancy. Okay, the first 3 months of the pregnancy is the first trimester. The second part is months 4 to 6, and then the third trimester is the months 7 to 9. That's what I mean. Trimester is not in the Bible, but yet pregnancy is all over the place. That's what I'm saying. That's just the deal. Now, if the word Trinity was found in every single verse in the Bible, okay, all 30 or 31,000 verses in the Bible, whatever the case may be, in some particular translations. Let's say if it was in every verse of the Bible, but it didn't say, like it says in our Bibles, and it didn't say, okay, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Well, they're going to say, well, yeah, Trinity's not there, but it doesn't say, for example, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit. It doesn't say that. If it was there, I would believe it. Yeah, right, end quote. But it's here, and you still don't believe it. You pick and choose and stuff like that. So Trinity, the word Trinity could be found, in all of the verses of the Bible, but yet they won't believe it anyway because they'll find something else to pick and to choose. You understand what I mean? Well, let's get at it. But first of all, let's read it again. It's quite clear. It says over here, now of the Lord. That's what it says. Now the Lord appeared to him, to Abraham, by the oaks of Mamre, while he was sitting at the tent door, okay, in the heat of the day. So it says the Lord. That's the identification. Now, when he lifted up his eyes, and looked, behold, three. We're going to look at the Hebrew word. 3 men, okay, were standing opposite him. And when he saw them, he, meaning Abraham, ran from the tent door to meet them and to bow himself to the earth. Okay? So the word 3 appears for the first time, okay, in verse ato. Now it says over here in verse 3, okay, and said, my Lord. Okay, if now I have found a favor in thy sight, please do not pass your servant by. Okay, so he calls him Lord in verse 3. That's a further confirmation of the identification found and recorded in verse 1. And I already said that verse 13 also confirms that it was the Lord. Let's read that again before we get into the Hebrew. Okay? We'll get into the Greek Septuagint also, and if the Lord will. Now, where is verse 13? It does come after 12. I know that, just saying. It says over here, and the Lord, wait a minute. Further confirmation. And the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Saying, shall I indeed bear a son, bear a child, when I am so old? That's what Isaac's name means, laughter. Ishchach. You understand what I'm saying? Well, let's look at the Greek Septuagint first before we get into the Hebrew. Okay? Now, that's just it. Let's look at it. Okay, and let's look at the first time. Okay, as a matter of fact, over here in Psalm 32, verse 6, it has logos here in the text. Okay, tolago. Tolago or tologo, however you want to pronounce it. Tolago, that's in the dative case singular masculine construction. This is logos here in Psalm 32, verse 6 in the Greek Septuagint. And dabar, actually, dabar, actually in the Hebrew, Bible, according to Psalm 33, verse 6, dabar is there. Okay, dabar. That means what? Bereshit haya hadabar, v'hadabar haya im ha'elohim wa'elohim haya hadabar. That's actually John chapter 1. John chapter 1, verse 1 in the Hebrew New Testament, translated from the Textus Receptus by G.G. Collier and T. Frey, way back in 1817, before the Watchtower was even born. Now let's look at Genesis, or Genesis in Greek. Okay, let me see here. And this is verse 18 right here. And let's go to verse 1. Okay, that's just it. Now look at this. It says over here, now, ofte de, okay, auto hatheas, it says over here. Not even the Lord, it says hatheas. Now, sometimes hatheas does translate the tetragrammaton. Now, I'm thinking that it has a tetragrammaton there. That's what I saw in my Hebrew Bible way back in 2018. Okay, I say way back because any day that you live in the Philippines is like stretched out. It seems like a year. 4 years ago, way back, So that's just it. Did I say 1818 or 2018? I mean, I just, But it says over here, ofe, okay, ofe de, okay, auto to him, okay, hatheas. Okay. Okay. Now, and that's mambre, actually mambre over there. That's just the deal. So, it says over here, hatheas. Okay, hatheas. Now, let's look at verse 2. It says over here, anablepsas, okay, looking, that's the anas up. So, blepsas actually is looking, okay, and so anablepsas, looking up, and looking up to as toys ophthalmos, okay, autu, okay, Eden, kai idu, behold. There you go, 3. Tres, or tres, or thrice. I mean, I don't care how you pronounce 3 there, but it's definitely 3 in the Greek Septuagint. So you have theos, okay, probably being there, right? Okay, it's a possibility. We have to leave it open. We have to, we don't want to say that it's God and it wasn't really. So we have to say that it was an allegory, or that it might have been an allegory, or it might have been God visiting Abraham. We have to just keep it, we just can't be dogmatic about it. We have to say it's either or. Okay, it's either or. But anyway, even if it's either or, it's heads I win, tails the JW's rules. Because if it's not God, but just an example of the Trinity, well, that's what we want anyway, don't we? But if it's God, then it's God. Okay, that's just it. Let's go on now. Now, remember the identification of the one who was visiting or appeared to Abraham is God, hatheas, here in the text, in the nominative singular masculine construction. Now, the word 3 appears here as well. We got to look at the Hebrew what. Let's go on to verse 3. Okay, is that you, sweetheart? Hello, who's that? I think that's just the door that opened. It's like the invisible man, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? But it says over here, and apen and apen kurie. Okay, and that's in the vocative of kurie. Okay, so the Lord is not speaking. Someone is saying something to God. Okay, kai apen kurie. It says over here, ara. It says over here, Yuran Chayrin, Enantian Su, okay, may, outside of the indicative, right? Parel Thes, Tan, Paida, and that's child there, Su. Is that child there? It's not child. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, now, this is one I want to bring up, though. Okay? It says that verse 1 says, Hatheos here. So that's an identification that the one meeting him is God. Okay, possibly. And verse 3 says that he says something to the Lord. Kurie. Okay? Just like the English. Okay, so I just want to see that. And also we saw the word 3. Those are the key words in my study. Now let's go to verse 13. Because let's see if it says theos or kurios there in this text. Okay, in verse 13. And we're going to look at the Hebrew. Okay? Now, it says in verse 13, kai apen kurias pros Abraham. Now, this is the Lord speaking to Abraham. You see this? It says, kai for an, apen said, okay, kurias, okay, that's in the nominative case construction. Okay, pros, and that's 2, right? Abraham and did, that's an interrogative. Hati, it says over here, gelasen. Okay, and then why did Sarah laugh? If Sarah's over here, capital letter sigma. Okay, asara. Okay, you understand what I mean? And that's just it. Now, so over here has kurios, kurie, and theos. And to throw in there for free, okay, thrice, or tres, or tres, okay, for 3. Right. Now, with that in mind, okay, we have the identification here. And as further identification, okay, in this chapter, or the beginning, in this chapter, and in the beginning of the next chapter, chapter 19, that the Lord went to heaven, okay, and the Lord stayed down here to judge. Now, we can get in that in our study. Well, this idea that these are just men might be wrong, because it says that the Lord went to the, if you will, one of the lords, I'll put it like that, one of the lords went to heaven, two of the 3 lords, okay, you understand what I'm saying, stayed here upon earth to judge, though there are altogether one Lord. Okay? I should say it like that so it'll be more easier to understand. One Lord went to heaven, 2 lords stayed here upon earth to judge. Okay? That's it. Now, just because angel might be in one of these texts that we're going to see, well, I mean, the names of God Bible is a wonderful Bible. It's a beautiful, wonderful, impeccable Bible. And it just translates that Hebrew word, okay, into messenger. Messengers, you understand what I'm saying? But that's for later. That's not for now. Let's look at the Hebrew. This is going to be exciting. Let's look at the Hebrew here. Remember, this is the first time, as I drop my phone on my shoulder. This is the first time, let me get this, get rid of this. This is the first time that the number of the members of the Trinity, okay, is revealed to us. Revealed. This is the unfolding of the doctrine of the Trinity. Now, listen, the words that I spoke of actually say or teach the unity of the Trinity. The unity. But even though there are, one, echad, if you will, you understand what I'm saying? They are still three persons, and that has to be revealed also in the Bible. Not that they're only one in unity, but they are three distinct persons, and that's what this scripture does. The one that we're going to see, it does very eloquently. Okay, now let's go to Genesis. There. It's recorded, and the scriptures can never be broken. Now, in verse 18, let's just check that out. All right, so that's just the deal. Let's go to the first few verses and then verse 13. Okay, all right. It says over here, and appeared. Appeared. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, Ra'ah. This is very interesting. Appear. This is the same word for to see. Ra'ah. Okay, Ra'ah. So I can tell it right away. Spelled out Resh, Aleph, and Hey. Now, if I blow up the print a little bit, magnify it. The diacritics are. You have Resh with the kamets, Aleph with the kamets, and Hey. So the kamets is a little tiny. It's an A class, and it looks like a little tiny T, doesn't it? Right underneath, right under the zeros on in 7,200. Okay, there's an opposite side looking R. It's an R. Okay, Resh. But it's a T-looking thingy underneath that Hebrew consonant, and that's an A class. Okay, so you're looking at a T-looking thingy. You're looking at an A. That's all. For the most part. Okay, that's just as simple as that. A like in father, though. Okay, there's another A class in biblical Hebrew that doesn't sound like this. Is the A class like in the word hat. Okay, there is a distinction. There is a distinction between the two A classes in biblical Hebrew. There is no distinction between those two vowels in modern Hebrew. Okay, vowel strokes or whatever you want to call it. Now, so that Ra'ah actually. Okay, well, anyway. So let's see this though. Wait for a second though. Let me get rid of this. Let me see. Copy. No, I don't want to copy. I want to close this thing here. It said appeared. Okay, and appeared. Okay, so you have wa there, wa or wa there for and. Okay. All right. So that's a reduplicating yod there. As a matter of fact. To him, let's check this out. Who appeared to him? Look at that. The Tetragrammaton is right here. Okay. Now we see Lord with small O-R-D in the NASB. But in some Bibles, you see, especially in the Names of God Bible, you see, Yahweh or Yahweh. But in some English texts, you see a capital L-O-R-D. Not just capital L, but capital L-O-R-D. You understand what I'm saying? But this is Yahweh here. Yahweh. I don't care how you pronounce it. Tetragrammaton, which appears more than 6,800 times. Vines has it at, I believe, at 6,808 times. And Mouse has it at 6,809 times. And his Mouse's complete expository dictionary of all the New Testament was, which is more complete than Vines. Now, the Tetragrammaton is here. Spelled out Yod, Hey, Wow, Hey. That's the crucifixion account right there in the Tetragrammaton, by the way. Okay? This is a crucifixion story. We get rid of that, guys. Now, did I lose it? Let me see. I kind of lost it a little bit here. And so let's just put this so I don't have to, they don't have to ask me all the time. This is Tetragrammaton here in the first verse. Now, ha theos is translating, or theos is actually translating, okay, the Tetragrammaton. And it does that a lot, as a matter of fact, in the Greek Septuagint. Okay? You understand? The Tetragrammaton is here. Who appeared to Abraham? Jehovah. If you want to pronounce it like that, I mean, I don't mind. This is quite clear. Yod, He, Wow, He, or Vav, But Yod means hand, He means behold, Wow or Vav means nail, like a nail, You remember Deborah? I believe put the tent nail right in the skull of a man and killed him. You understand what I'm saying? And then you have behold. You have another hey. So hand, behold, nail, behold. That's the story of the cross right here in the Tetragrammaton. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. That's just saying. The Tetragrammaton has to do with Jesus. Let's just face it, though. Now, so, okay, fine. But let's go on. Okay. How about verse 2? It says over here, okay, so he lifted, okay, all right, his eyes and looked, okay, I looked over here and looked, and behold, three. Shalosh is the Hebrew word for three. Let's check it out. Shalosh, very important Hebrew word. Shalosh, it says over here. And now, let's check it out. Now, the word three is very stark, okay? Three. Below that is the Hebrew word for three here in this text. Now, remember that you read Hebrew from right to left, never from left to right. Only if you could do that from left to right when you're parsing the syllables, Now, let's check it out. Well, there's a sheen here, a lamed, a sheen, and a hey. Let's check this baby out. The SH in Hebrew and the S looks like a W. Okay? They both look like a W. One is called sheen, the SH, or shin. It's not a sin to call a sheen shin. Mr. Spock, okay, from Star Trek. In real life, he was a Jewish man, and he pronounced this letter, okay, shin. Okay, and he was a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Okay, you understand, Mr. Spock. Incidentally, Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, William Shatner himself, actually went to outer space. Okay, further shattering. Okay, that nobody was, the false prophecy of 1943 at the Tower, that nobody was going to break the whatever, the envelope of the earth, or whatever the case may be. The truth shall set you free. Okay, all right. That book or pamphlet or whatever it was recorded in 1943 was a sham. Captain Kirk went to space, guys. Captain Kirk. You can't make it up. 600 people went to space practically, right? And 24 people went to the moon. Come on, man. You can't fool me. Come on. Let's get back to this, though. Now, the sheen, or the SH, looks like a W. This is not a W. This is an SH. Now, how can you tell it's an SH and not an S? Now, what is this? Okay, all right. Let's just say. Well, the dot above the letter. Now, I'm under the last E, or actually under the two E's in the word three, and that's the W-looking letter, which is the SH in Hebrew, sheen or shin. Now, there's a dot. You see that dot over the letter? What is going on? Okay, that's my wife, by the way, over here. That's my wife and my baby girl, Anna Devane, by the way, okay? That's just it. You see my wife over there? I was just trying to, give her space so you can see. and my wife is pregnant with Sean Donnelly, our baby boy. So all I need next year is Robert Scorpio, and I can't lose. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, so let's get back to this, guys. Seriously. Now, let me see if I could go to the word three though. Where's three at though? I kind of add. Okay, look. Let me see. Three has to be right here, someplace right here. All right. Okay. Now, the SH looks like a W. How can you tell? How can you tell if it's a SH or an S? Because this is the letter used for both. Well, there's a sheen dot. What do you mean a sheen dot? There's a dot that goes above, not on. It shouldn't go on, but above the upper right-hand corner. When that happens, like in the word Moshe, which means Moses, was a SH. Now, if that dot was to the upper, left-hand corner, well, that would be an S, like in the word basar, which means flesh, okay? All right, so that's an SH. And then you have the schwa underneath that. It's like a Braille C, if you know Braille. And it's like two dots, vertical dots. Okay, that's a schwa. That's like, you just pronounce it like that. I mean, that's a sort of rough pronunciation, but okay, so she. Okay, and then you have a lamed, the next letter. It's like a long letter to the top, and right under the R in the word three. You see that very long letter in this Hebrew word? That's an L, lamed. Okay, it's the only letter that goes over the top Mendoza line. You're writing in a notebook and you have your lower line and your upper line. Well, this is the only letter that goes above the higher Mendoza line, if you will. You know what I mean? It's a lamed. The lambda in Greek is equal to this in sound. Okay, la, like in Larry. Now, so that's an L. But there's an O class attached to this, meaning there's a dot. There's a dot, to the upper left-hand corner, not above all the way, but you see those dots there. One is a sheen dot and one is a Holem O class dot, and the O, you can tell that an O vowel is present. In a letter, or near a letter by knowing that an O class goes, to the upper left-hand corner, of a letter, like L and wow and lamet and things like that. So that's share law. You see, share law. You don't see the sh there. I mean, that's one of the little strange rules in transliteration. But share law, and then you have another sheen. Another sh, if you will. It looks like a w, but it's not a w. It's a sh here, sheen. And underneath it, you have an A class, like we saw in the previous Hebrew word. It's a T-looking thingy, but it's an A class, like in the word father. So Shah. So far you have Shelo Shah. After that, you have a Hey or an H that's silent. And so you don't pronounce that. So you just pronounce Shelo Shah. Shelo Shah. And Shelo Shah means a three. Now, the lexical form, however, is actually shalosh. Shalosh. And that means a three. Tagged by 7969. So we have the Tetragrammaton in verse 1, giving you the identification of the one who appeared to Abraham, right? and you have, okay, the word three appearing, no pun intended, okay, in verse 2. But let's see further a proof. And said, or Wayomer, okay, and said, and apen is in the Greek, my Lord, it says over here, my Lord, if so and so and so and so and so and so. Now, Abraham is speaking to this being, and he calls him Lord. But he calls him here, okay, it says Adonai. Adonai. Now, let me tell you something about Adonai, spelled out, okay? Let's check it out here. Okay, remember Psalm 110? Yahweh said to Adonai, right? Well, over here, Adonai is spelled out Aleph, Dalet, Nun, and Yod. Aleph with Hatef Patach, okay? And then Dalet with an O class, okay? Right? And then Nun with a Kametz right underneath it. And then it has Yod acting like a vowel as the last part of the Hebrew word, Adonai. Okay? Adonai. You understand what I'm saying? Adonai. Okay? And that's tagged by 113. Actually, Adonai. Now, well, actually, that's Adon, actually. Adon. So this is actually Adon here. And let me see over here, guys, because I see Adon here. I see Adon. Okay, and Adon is here 113. Okay, so that's the spelling of that. And see, Adon is Aleph, a Dalet, a Waw, and a final Nun. Okay. Okay. Now, so we have here. Okay. Adon here in this text. Okay, I thought it was Adonai, but it's actually Adon. But yeah, the Tetragrammaton in verse 1. Okay. Now, could it be that Abraham thought that this was just merely three men? And so that's why he said Adon. Right? Adon. Okay? Could that be the case? Could that be the case? Now, was he convinced later on, and that's why he bowed down and worshipped them, or just bowed down to them, bow down to the earth? But let's look at further proof, though. Okay, so you have, Abraham calling these three persons Adon, sort of a normal address. Okay. Abraham called, Sarah calling Abraham Lord, okay, in the lower sense of it all. You understand what I'm saying? Found in Galatians. But let's look at further proof. Okay, I thought it was Adonai over there, actually, but, Let's look at verse 13 and see. He appeared to him, Yahweh appeared to him. But let's see if Yahweh is in this text here. Let's check this out. It says over here, and said, Wayomer, okay, all right, Yahweh. Two, or the preposition el in Hebrew, okay, Abraham. Okay, Abraham. Actually, it says over here, Abraham. So the Aleph, Bet, Resh, Hey, and final Mem. Don't forget about the vowel points. Okay, he said two, el, pros in the Greek Septuagint, we saw pros too, right? Over here, the Tetragrammaton appears here. Now remember, okay, hi sweetheart.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. That's my wife. I'll reach out to Pai Quinones. On the floor, yeah. I don't know where she's walking on the floor. So the thing is, Tetragrammaton appears. Listen, Adon appeared there. Okay. In what, verse 3. But the Tetragrammaton appears twice in this story here so far. Okay, in verse 13. Okay. And I'm not saying it appears only twice, but it appears, at least in my study, so far we have it appearing, okay, twice. Once here in verse 13 and once in verse 1 of this chapter. Okay, so I mean that's really the deal. The identification, okay, of the one appearing to Abraham is none other than God Himself appearing, okay, as three persons. Okay, meaning now appearing as three persons, and so that's just a deal. Now, he saw three men. Now, does he say just three? Let me check this out. Just three over here. Let me see the word for men here in the Hebrew. Okay, I'm not doubting that it says men. Okay, I think that's in verse 2. Okay, all right. Okay. This is glorious. This is a glorious thing. Okay, now, let me see here, guys. Okay, men. Okay, so let's check it out. Men here is, okay, Anashim. Okay, what is the lexical form? Okay, and so it has to be Ish, and it is Ish. Isha means a woman, by the way. Ish means man in Hebrew, just like Adam can mean man in Hebrew. Okay, so you have Ish. The lexical form is Aleph, which is silent. So you sound off that vowel dot, which is an I class. One single dot like that underneath a Hebrew consonant is an I. Okay, and be careful with a yod though. Because if it's doubled, then the dot is going to go right underneath the belly of the yod. So that's not an I. That's a, doubling doggish. But I'm just saying. So, and yod is a vowel here, right? Okay. And so far E, and then you have the sheen again. Remember, a W-looking letter in Hebrew can be a SH or an S. Okay. Ish. Ish means man. Now, men, okay, because it's not just man, M-A-N, but men. So, Anashim, you see how the mem is making that plural. What did I say about the word Elohim in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1? That's in the plural form. Just like Susim, horses, Panim, faces or persons, whatever the case may be, right? Seraphim, cherubim, those angel classes. The seraphim are angels of fire. You understand what I mean? Echadim means few, from echad. You understand what I mean? I don't know why Alexander Cruz, my opponent in the Great Trinity debate, okay, said that, echad means only one in the Bible. Are you kidding? Did you ever see Brown Driver and Briggs, which is as big as a house? It has all the single constructions, okay, all the constructions for echad in the Bible, in the Hebrew Old Testament. You know what I mean? The Jewish scriptures, and it has all the constructions. Echad doesn't only mean one; it can mean few, it can mean 11, it can mean altogether. Okay, see Strong's Hebrew Dictionary of the Bible, and see that that's not true what Alexander Cruz said, the Swami from Brooklyn. You understand what I'm saying? JW/Unitarian. All right, men is Anashim, and the mem here is making it a plural, just like a tau or a t can make a Hebrew word plural in modern Hebrew. Now, so Anashim means men. Okay, so how you say this over here? Okay, so let me see. Okay, let's see. So you have Shalosh. Okay, actually, Shalosha, Shalosha Anashim. Shalosha means three, and Anashim means men. So that's just a deal right there. Okay, that's just it. So what did we learn in our study here today? Well, we learned, okay, that Abraham was visited by God. Okay, now if he wasn't visited by God, if we can't be too dogmatic about it, at 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 worst, okay, this can mean that this is an allegory describing, teaching, indicating, showing, okay, finite beings like ourselves that he is three persons. We already saw that those words that mean us this and us that is, okay, means, okay, us in unity. Okay, Elohim. Okay, fine. Genesis 1:1:1, but Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Naaseh Adam. Let us make man. Us. Okay, there you go, right there. Mi menu. Nu means us in Hebrew. Verse 22 of chapter 3 of Genesis. Mi menu. It means man has become like one, quote, of us, end quote. Mim men nu. Just cheat and say me menu. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Nu means us in Hebrew. And we learned another word found and recorded in Genesis chapter 11, verse 7, nereda, from yarad, which means to descend. But the thing is that the contextual form, the textual form actually has, okay, nereda, okay, let us go down. Now, if that's not enough, God uses a plural pronoun of himself and says, who will go, quote, for us, end quote. For us is lanu. Remember that nu means us in Hebrew. Lanu means, okay, for us. Found and recorded in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Incidentally, it says, Shalosh, Shalosh, Kadosh, 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 I should say, Kadosh, 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 holy, holy, holy. That's proven in Trinity. Now, somebody may be so sexy and sassy and say, well, it says in the Bible, earth, earth, earth. Is that a Trinity? But who says that the Bible teaches that the earth is a Trinity? The Bible does teach that there's a Trinity. And I think that the seraphim, the angels of Fa, actually was covering all the bases. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, he covered first base, second base, and third base. And got it home to our hearts when he didn't want to slight any of the members of the Trinity of their holiness. You understand what I'm saying? So he said, Kadosh, 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 holy, holy, holy. And that's just it. We can see that in our next study. Now the word three appears in this text in verse to, actually, in this text. Okay? That's just it. And the word for God appears in the Greek Septuagint. We saw that, ahatheos, in verse 1. But in the Hebrew, verse 1 of this chapter 18 of the book of Genesis, has the tetragrammaton. The tetragrammaton has it right here. It's recorded. And the scriptures cannot be broken. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, okay, as I get rid of that, not only that, but in verse 13, it has the tetragrammaton as well. That's just it. Verse 13, okay, says something like this. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, and said, Wayomer, okay. All right, let's see. Yahweh, see, the Tetragrammaton. which is the third person form of Haya. The Tetragrammaton is the third person form of Haya, and Ehyeh is the first person form of Haya. You see that in Mouse's Complete Expository Dictionary of Old and New Testament. Watch. Okay, so we have that there, and we see that that he was bowed down to, meaning God was worshipped by Abraham. Okay, and that's it. Now it says over here, it says, is too hard, or is anything too hard, you should give this to your wives, okay? Is anything too hard for the Lord? Okay? Anything, it says over here. It says over here, okay, at the appointed time, okay, I will return. It says I will return. It doesn't say the Lord will return. It says I will return. That's what I'm saying. That's what it says. I will return. Not he will return or the Lord will return. I will return. That's what it says. That's what it says in the text. Okay, so I mean the Trinity, for the first time, we see a glimpse of how many persons there are in the Godhead, in the Trinity, in the family of the deity. You see how many? 3. Okay. Why did the angel of fire, the seraphim, why didn't he just say holy, a kadosh one time or 2 times, or maybe 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times, or 8 or 9, 10 or 11 times? That's what I'm saying. Why? Because he knows there are 3 persons in the Trinity together. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory, total glory to the God of Israel. God is not the God of the dead, Necron, of the mute, but of the living. And that means that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were very much alive at the time that Jesus said those words. Now remember, Moses lived, okay, I mean, like 1,500 years before the birth of Jesus. You understand what I mean? Now, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived even, more farther back than that. Okay, guys, well, please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up, and please give me a comment on the screen. But remember this delicious teaching that for the first time in the Bible, the book of Genesis, it's not even the 50th chapter. It's not even the 40th or the 30th or the 20th, the 18th. God reveals himself to be three, either in this allegory or in the fact that he stooped down and visited Abraham, his friend. Food for thought if you're a witness. Why do we say there's 3? A triunity? Well, tri means 3, unity means unity. Now, a witness can tell me before I close, well, I mean, we're in one agreement. This is say that in John chapter 10, in one agreement. You understand what I'm saying? But don't the disciples, aren't the disciples said to be, okay, one with us? Yeah, but Jesus praying for the unity of the disciples in the high priestly prayer. When was prayer done that the Father and the Son be one? That's food for thought. Food for thought. I can tell you right off the bat, none. Okay, law in Hebrew. Okay, and u in Greek. So Greek negatives. Okay. God describes himself to be 3. Are you going to believe it? And your house and your children? What is your eternal destiny going to be? In a lake of fire or eternal bliss with this Yahweh? Thank you. Take care, guys.